So here we have a pre-owned 2014 Maserati Ghibli. This one comes in the SQ4 trim level, black on black leather. The powertrain consists of a 3-liter twin turbocharged V6 engine mated to an 8-speed shiftable automatic transmission. That gets us 404 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. This one just has a little over 41,000 miles. So we're gonna see how it's held up for being a little over 10 years old and that kind of mileage. But to the front end here, beautiful front fascia, high intensity discharge headlamps, LED daytime running lights. And ever since this came out, it's been like a dream car for me. It's such a pretty vehicle and you can get these so cheap right now. 18-inch wheels down here, like that design. Passive keyless entry on the front. You get memory seat functions there. Wood grain, power door lock controls, one-touch up and down windows on all 4 doors. Rear window lock is here. You get power folding side mirrors. Those are also heated. And there's your trunk release there. Headlamp controls, push button start. And then you get a power tilt telescopic steering wheel. There's a driver's seat, 4-way power lumbar support. And still, leather's held up pretty nicely for the mileage, I think. But I want to give a huge thanks to Auto Collection of Murfreesboro and AutoPro Nashville for allowing me to review this Ghibli today. I'll leave a link below in the description. And if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click on that second link down below. I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on any used vehicle you might be interested in. Now, I will say the leg room on these was not the best for this car. So I really cannot fit back here. That's the space I have sitting behind myself. But it is what it is. Little creek there. Bottle holders here. And then you have a little storage pocket that has a 12-volt and a USB-A port, which is pretty cool. And then you have your lower latch anchors here for your car seats. And then the top tethers are on the top of the back right there. But still a pretty cool car, especially if you're just gonna be out here cruising by yourself, maybe have the kids. But again, it'd be kind of difficult to fit bigger adults like myself in the back and then also in the front. Now I have the vehicle in sport mode so you can hear that exhaust. Love that sound. But pretty good trunk space. I feel like we could have had a bit less and then got more rear leg room, but it is what it is. Spares underneath there. I don't know what kind of kit that is. That's interesting. But just love the sound of the car overall. The engine sounds good. The exhaust sounds fantastic. If you pull this here, get a good grip. Folds flat, you can run longer objects through to the front. And then pretty easy to just lock it back into place. Here we have our power front passenger seat with 4-way power lumbar support. I'm gonna hop in here. So if you were sitting somebody taller behind the passenger seat, that might be easier, because as you can see, to sit here comfortably, I don't have to necessarily be that far back, but whew, it is freezing outside. But I forgot to pop the hood, so give me 1 second. Couldn't feel my hands. There's that 3-liter twin turbocharged V6. let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So leather wrap steering wheel here. There's the horn. To the radio, if you're used to the Chryslers, that's pretty much identical to what we have here. All the icons and everything set up the same. Volume knob here, tune knob there. In terms of radio, you get AM, FM, satellite, CD drive, and you also have Bluetooth audio, SD card reader, USB port, and an aux input. Dual zone automatic climate controls, which you can control either from the screen or you have buttons down below. Your hazards are there as well, and then the SD card readers here, the CD drives there. Heated seats, 2 stages on both sides. Navigation system. And then your phone settings and the Bluetooth is paired. And then in here you can go through all of your settings for the backup camera, the doors, all of that can be configured the way you want it. Backup cameras there. Now the shifter's pretty interesting. You have to grab the lever back here, pull down, and then same thing with putting it back. But then you can also go to drive and then hit that M button to put it into the manual mode. So an interesting setup for a shifter, I think. But traction control toggles there, that manual mode's here. You have your increased control and efficiency mode there, and your sport mode there, and then you can make sure both of those are off for just the normal drive mode. You have a cigarette lighter there. Love the wood grain, that's a nice touch there. It looks nice, feels nice. And then your aux input and your USB inputs right there. You can stow that as well. Center console cubby space. Decent size. You have a 180 watt 12 volt, which is nice, and then 2 bottle holders in there. Now those are more typical bottle holders as opposed to the cup holders up there. Right here, sunroof controls. You get a manual sunshade, so you can one-touch slide that back. It goes all the way back, which is nice. And then the same thing to shut it. But there's a look at the back seat from up here. Garage door transmitter, your lights, all of that controls are right there. And here we have our vanity mirror. Now back to the steering wheel, blinkers, high beams, and then your intermittent wipers right there. And then just push this in for the front fluid. And then our cruise control, on, off, set the speed, Bluetooth, or I should say the phone button is there, voice recognition, and then we can use this, all this right here to go through the digital part of the gauge cluster in the middle. And then you can just press this to go from kilometers to miles per hour. Now push button start, again, over there. Key fob right here. So now for the fun part, let's go ahead and take this 2014 Ghibli S Q4 out on the road for a test drive. Now starting the test drive in this Ghibli here, I love how aggressive the exhaust is. It's just super strong. It feels like a Maserati. When I get in any Maserati, I expect it to have a very menacing European exhaust, and that's what you get here, specifically in this SQ4. Just a very strong sounding car in general. And even though the suspension is a bit stiffer, it's still a pretty comfortable ride. It's not something that I necessarily complain about, because that's what I want in a car like this with over 400 horsepower and pound-feet of torque. And again, it's not uncomfortable, but it is stiffer than you might expect for a luxury sedan. Now, the overall look that you get from the driver's seat, I love having the clock there. Even though you just have the digital middle on the gauge cluster, still like the gauges. They did a good job with that. And then just, you know, the screen's a bit dated, but in 2014, it was just nice to have this here, navigation screen, the Bluetooth and all of that. So I have the car in sport mode now. Gonna flop shift it down here. And what I can say right off the bat is in sport mode and in manual mode, the shifts are very snappy, which I enjoy. But I'm gonna try to give it a good pull getting on the interstate here. Slow down coming around this corner, nobody's behind me. Drop in a second. Actually, I'll do it from a stop. Here we go. Wow, yeah, that's very quick, very quick. And then the pull you get, even just mid-range there, gosh, it's really nice. I'm gonna put it back into the increased control and efficiency mode here, activate the cruise. Now you don't have adaptive cruise on this one, but standard cruise is fine. And honestly, on the interstate, the ride quality is really good where it's smooth. When you hit a bump, you feel it a bit more than you would in a normal car, typically, but still, again, the ride is comfortable. But honestly, just the reason these cars are so cool now is because this is literally $17,900 here at Auto Collection of Murfreesboro, and it still gives you that exhilaration from when it was like a 70, 80 grand car. I'm actually surprised it's held up as nicely as it has. But I mean, that pull getting on the interstate there was very nice. Now the ICE mode here is kind of a mix between a snow and ice mode and an eco mode, and I do really like it because it's a very simple setup. So you don't have to do too much. I should say you're not giving up too much to drive more efficiently. You still have power, but it's just easier to drive this thing in different conditions, or if you're trying to be more fuel efficient. But I want to give one more thanks to Auto Collection of Murfreesboro and AutoPro Nashville for allowing me to review this Maserati today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find a used vehicle closer to home, you want to make sure you pay the best possible price, click on that second link down below. It takes a minute to fill out your information, and I'll get the best dealers fighting to get you whatever that price may be on whatever vehicle it may be. But all in all, I mean, the car is still fun to drive. Always love these again since they came out. They're just quick. The power is great. But especially on the used car market scene, if you can work on these yourself, or if you have a good mechanic, really a steal here. I mean, this car has 41,000 miles on it. Still super fast, super quick. and it's under 18,000. I mean, it's a steal, really. But I mean, again, if you're looking for something that's cheap, something that's quick, something that's fun, something that's relatively practical if you needed to daily drive it, this really is the way to go. It's just, it checks all the boxes for me. I can still fit my car seat back there if I wanted to. It had to be on that side because it couldn't be behind me because I'm a tall guy, but everything else is fantastic on this car. So with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2014 Maserati Ghibli S Q4.